Hello. A new chewy necklace because I kind of murdered my last one. Okay. You're free from the ads. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm good. How are you? It is Wednesday and we are working on our game again. Oh, the camera's not turned on. Let's just add that. Oh, the lighting is not even set up too. It's dark in here. It is crazy how little light I get when I haven't got the lamps on my face. Hang on a second. I'm always forgetting something. One, and the other one I have to stand up for. Actually, to be honest, I could probably get that other one pretty easily. And now, everything can be seen. We're here. What a day, what a day. The chat's showing. Let's chop that in a bit. Okay. So, we are at that point again, where we've added quite a lot. I have cooking tomorrow, so I'm kind of happy, but it's fruit and veg, and I have sensory issues. Like, you don't like eating fruit and vegetables? I used to have troubles when I was a kid too. It got better, but there were some things that I never overcome. Like, I really don't like eating onions because of the way they feel. Like, the taste is fine. I just don't like the way they feel. I have having sensory issues with touching and eating. Yeah. I guess just wash your hands a lot. You're cutting up some fruit and it's just like all gooey and shit. Yeah, it sucks. Okay. Okay, so yeah, we're at that stage now. We got the menu. Well, the menu is a work in progress. As we add things to the game, we add menu items. So we added the ability to pick up health and energy upgrades. Hello, Frenchizo. Hello, hello. Good afternoon from Zambia. What are we doing? We are working on a Metroidvania. It's very early stages. We've sort of just completed the last few months of work where we've got a couple of bosses, some enemies to fight, some places to explore. We worked on upgrades the last couple of weeks, so now you can collect bits of flesh to upgrade your health, and there's a battery somewhere here. I think it's hiding in here. There's an energy upgrade. I can't grab it. That you can use to upgrade your battery, I guess, because this guy's a robot that somehow gets his health upgraded by health chunks, by like bits of flesh. Don't ask questions too much. The law's a bit shaky, but now we've done that. We want to add money, and we do have money, right? We've got 1 credit here, but there's no way to get that money at the moment. I just put these down here so that you could collect them. So let's run the game. And I've been, I can't take 1 bite of watermelon without vomiting. Is it because of the taste? Let's just disable the sound on this. So I guess to recap from the last stream as well, I've been working on resolutions and stuff like that because I was setting up the menu. So now if you pause the menu, we've got like how many health bits you need to get the next health and how many batteries you need to get the next energy battery. And we left off wondering how we can make this scale with any resolution, and I've sort of fixed it. It can't go below the width, but the height is fine. So you could have like a crazy wide monitor and it should work okay, I guess. We'll have to work on it. I also have to work on, if you can't see behind this pause screen, the health bar, because it doesn't scale with the size of the screen either. So that's something to work on as well. But we've got money, and so you can collect this money. But right now, it's the only way to get it. Now, typically, in a Metroidvania, or in most games, when you kill enemies, or when you defeat enemies, you you get some currency. Random person on this earth, welcome to the stream. And so what I want to do is have a way for us to like access more of this money by defeating enemies around I was kind of thinking, like, I've called it credits, but it might be better to call it scraps, because these are going to be robots eventually. So maybe it should be scrap metal. Oh, we can always change the label and the art later, I guess. Oh, also another big change that I'm experimenting with is you can't hold this down anymore. You have to press the button to make it go. You can, he still will shoot, but it's way slower. So it's like much more efficient to press the button. Because I noticed like all the other Metroidvanias that I played, they all make you press the button. You can't hold it down. So I figure that's a change I have to make, but also that means I need to nerf the health of the enemies. They can't have too much health because that would be really annoying. But we'll see. That'll go to testing, and if we need to bring it back, we'll bring it back. But we need to add money from the enemies. We need to make them drop money. You know what I'm saying? So, got to turn on the old monitor. Is it connected? No, it's on flight mode. Let's just activate this. Turn on Wi-Fi. Dude, I gotta make a devlog. I've got one written. It's just not finished yet. It's on my list of things to do. Okay, why is this not working? Twitch. Please. Okay. It's coming. It's coming. Click the button. Click Stream Manager. Okay. 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 Is my category okay in YouTube? What's my category in YouTube? It's a thing I learned the other day. Science and technology. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Back in action. Okay. So let's add the drops to the enemies. It should be pretty easy. There's instructions for the enemy. So if I look at, what's this guy called? He's a floater. Oh, he's an obstacle. So I don't know if he should drop anything. So probably not that, but say the tank enemy, for example, we do have a death effect that spawns. So what we could probably do is create or modify this death effect to sort of alter what happens, so we can spawn out coins, essentially. Make them drop some coins. It'd be nice if it went in the direction of the like of the way that you killed them. So if you killed from like the right hand side, it would go right, instead of just like dropping. Let's get them dropping first, and then we'll go from there. So we can probably the easiest thing to do is just to spawn in a constant. So I'm trying to decide whether or not I should just do an export for pack scene so I can change it later if I need to. I think I'll do that. For currency. And it can just be a pack scene. And that will be our, like the coin, essentially, that it spawns. And then we can do an export bar, and we can do like min currency, and that can be an int, and then an export var. I suppose this could be an array as well, or a slider or something like that, but we'll do 2 numbers, that's fine. Max currency, and that can be an int. Let's set default values for this, so I'll make it 5 and 1. Okay, and then we'll find I think it's called a credit. 1 credit. We'll do that. So we can spawn in one of those, and essentially we can make a function here called Spawn money. Spawn currency. And we'll add a direction variable. Direction, it's a vector 2. And we'll just make it equal to vector 2.0 so we don't have to have it fed in when we call this function. For now, like we can have it there for later, and we can just work on that. Okay, so it returns void. Right, and so then we can pick like an amount. And this will be an int.
Forklift.
Yeah, get your forklift certification and you will be set for life. And it's something I regret doing. I regret never have done to get a forklift certification because I did work for a company at one time where that actually would have been a thing that I could have and use even as an accountant, believe it or not. When you work for a factory, being able to jump on the forklift without having to get someone to help you would have been pretty fun. So rand I range, and then we go from min to max. Right. Okay. So then we get the amount, and then we can just say for I in amount, and then just spawn in. So var C, driving in a forklift sounds like a jovial ride. Yeah, they're actually, I've seen people drive them. The way that they steer, because the tire, well, it depends on the forklift, right? But the ones that I was aware of, they had a single tire on the back, so they turned on a dime. And so people would go like really quick and then just like spin. And they would do all sorts of, they'd do a doughy, as we say in Australia. They'd do a donut. A donut, a doughy, is that? Am I getting the vernacular right? I'm exposing myself as not a true Australian. Var C is, what is what is the currency? Is it actually like, is it classified? It is class, it's credit. Okay, sweet. Okay, var C, credit is equal to currency dot instantiate, right? And then C dot global position equals global position. And then, yeah, right. So we can actually, this should be pretty easy because the credits, they're rigid bodies. So I should be able to give them like a force, an initial force, and just have them like, pew. I'm Aussie, I call it a donut. Do a spin, bro. But yeah, if you ever go to a factory and you see skid lines on the ground, that's what they've been up to. Okay. So, okay, yeah, we've got the global position, and then we can add child. Now, we probably want to get the level. Death effect. How are we spawning that? Is it just get parent? I actually don't know. What happens when they die? Okay, play death effect. We set it as a top level, it's still a child of. Get parent, add child, code effect. I love that shit. Get parent is like my favorite thing to see when I'm coding, because it means that I'm doing things absolutely 100% by the book and not cutting any corners whatsoever. Get parent. I love it. There's probably a better way to do that. In fact, what I should do is create a function in the game state to get the access to the top level of the level. So if I go to the game state, it actually yeah, I think we have access to the level, right? Encounter list, map area, enemy list, game pause, scene list. Wait, do we not have access to the level? What the hell? Am I dumb? Okay, save state, update player. I think the function's called like next level. Load next scene, okay, that's fine. So player data, current scene queue free. Did I just like overlook that? Set current scene, level to load. Current scene equals scene. Okay, so if we get current scene, so we should be able to just go gamestate.currentscene.addChild. Yeah, there it is there. I think that's the right way to go, right? We'll add the scene and then Bob's your uncle. Be pretty easy. Okay. Let's go back to the death effect. Yes. Okay, well, yes, we can start here. So we can go game state dot current level, current scene dot add child, and then pass in C. So we'll create a bunch of currencies when whatever happens, and then we'll work on this direction thing in a second. Now we can call spawn currency. This is not a class, so I'm going to make it one. Class is death effect. That's not how you do it. Capital D, death effect. Got to make sure you get that right. So now that we know the type, what we can do is go back to the enemy. Now I think this is a global script. Air enemy, I mean, extends enemy. EMS V1B, welcome to the stream. I appreciate you being here. I have yet to be able to implement any of your suggestions, but I have plans for one of them, which we can talk about later. But yeah, welcome. Mob Studio, welcome to the stream. Appreciate it. Okay, so we've got set release. Okay, so apparently the class is enemy, and then the air enemy has the... Is there like a ground enemy? What the hell? There is a ground enemy script. All right, that's weird. I'll have to have a look at this. It's a bit messy. I'm going to change this as well. So game state. Now I leave for mission. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but we'll roll with it. Game state dot current scene dot add child call deferred. Okay, I guess, do I need a call deferred on this other one? Probably as well. That seems to be in the most recent versions of Godot 4.6. It seems like add child, you need to call deferred. Like, it gives you an error when you actually try to call this, it doesn't work. And then it'll say, you should do this .add child .call deferred. I don't know exactly what changed. I didn't get the memo, but I've worked it out. Add child .call deferred. And then that's the argument is C. Error expected. Okay, I can't see what's going on. Is the chat an add-on for Godot? No, the chat is baked in. It's kind of just a visual trick. So like I have, it's a part of the what do you call it? Like it's like a stream layout. Where is it? Layout 2. So I can make it just disappear. There is somebody who does make an add-on. Their name is Rotio Tome. She's another creator on Twitch. She's got an add-on for like an actual chat box inside of Godot. I've been thinking about implementing it so that I can keep the full screen. So basically what I was thinking is I'd change this so that my camera probably covers the file system because no one cares about that. And then here in the lower bit, you could just have like the chat hanging out because no one cares about that either. And if you actually integrate it into Godot, then it'll, like if I change the size of this, it'll be fine. And occasionally it'll disappear and stuff. I don't know. I've been thinking about it. Because right now, like obviously it works. I think it looks good, but it does come with its challenges. Like obviously I have to work within a square box instead of like a, what do you call it? 16:9 ratio. So like there's trade-offs, that's for sure. Okay. GameState.currency.agile.call deferred. Okay, and see. Right. Okay, spawn currency. This should work. I don't see why they do. Oh, I actually have to call the function. Don't forget that. So go back to the tank enemy. And right after we add child, call deferred, game state. No, sorry, death effect, new effect. And also this is now a death effect. If I could spell it. Okay, new effect. Dot. Spawn. Did I forget to save the script? Expected. Oh, class. That's what it's given me an error for. I was like, what the hell is it giving me an error for? There we go. All fixed up. Okay. Death effect equals could not find type. Come on. There we go. And now if I write spawn currency, and then it wants a direction, but I'm not going to pass one in right now. Okay, so that should be all we need. This resolution that we've been playing around with is not exactly the best. Okay, let's go kill a tank and see what happens. I don't know what else has this. That guy, I'm pretty sure has that death effect, but he's not going to be calling the function, so it's not going to work. Yep. Okay. He dropped 3 currency. Not bad. What happens if these guys? I'm pretty sure. Hey, look at that. Okay, he's dropping currency. It's not the prettiest. We have to like add a little bit of randomness to it, I think. But now stuff drops, which I think is really cool. That was really easy. I hate how he dots. He needs like a worse raycast so that he can't just like aim from below the platform. It's super annoying. Like, I can't hit you. Give me that. Oh, look, he got stuck on it. Wait, go back. The crawler got stuck on the coin. That's so funny. I suppose technically that's what it's supposed to do. I need to add like, I need to change the masking for the coin because you probably should just pass through it. But that is pretty funny. Give me that. Okay, so I mean, it does just mask too. I guess then the crawler can theoretically crawl over the player if the player was in the way and it didn't do damage, I guess. Like, in theory, that means that's possible. If I go to the crawler enemy, and well, it's got like a ground cast, right? Yeah, it's just detecting 1. Collision mask 1? Okay, that's weird. Don't know about that. An interesting bug, nonetheless. Left cast and right cast? They just mask 1. This is on 2. Oh, that's the area, my bad. Yeah, okay. Now this is on 1, which it shouldn't be. It should just mask 1. And I think if you do that, then it should be fine. Okay. Sweet. That was easy. Stream over. No, I'm joking. Okay. So what we want to do is add a bit of a direction to this. So I don't know within this script. It's been a long time since I've looked at the enemy script. And to be honest, it's not the best because I wrote it at a time when I was still trying to figure out how my enemies should behave. So there's not the most, it's not the cleanest code. So it might deserve a refactor at some point. Let's have a look at this. So when we play the death effect, we don't have any information about like where we are in comparison to to the player. But when we take damage, we do know that information, right? Because there is a knockback, direction times knockback speed. This is something that you can actually, like, you don't have to always pass in a direction, or there's like a knockback speed. So if that's 0, it doesn't get knocked back. But like, we have access to that information from the health container, because when you take damage, I'm sort of logging that, where it came from. And so you can use it if you need to. But when you die on health 0, we don't have any information about that. So there's a couple of different things I could do here. The best way to do this, I think, would be to add information from the health container here, excuse me, and use that to sort of get that info, like basically pass it in here and then pass that to the play effect. I think that would be the cleanest way to do it. So that means we have to look at the health container, and it is different from the one on the player, although it is just the base one. I should probably spend some time changing that. So when you take damage, you pass a direction, right? But when you check health, you don't pass that direction on. And now it's, yeah, I think this will break. This will break the health container if I add the requirement for direction here. So probably the best course of action would be to create a child script of this called enemy health container. That, like, I don't have to worry about fixing this on the player side of things because I use the same script. The player does have its own, like, subscript that derives health container, because there's a bunch of stuff that the player needs to do. Like, the player needs to be able to heal, but the enemies don't. You know what I mean? That's not something they need. So we can probably add a script. This is going to be messy. Well, let's take a quick note of the signals. So we've got damage taken and health 0. So those are the two connected. Health container. So if I remove that script and then add another script, and it inherits health container, and then we're going to save this under scripts. Where was that saved? Damage? Okay. And we could just call this enemy health container. And then connect that script. And then call this class name. Now the problem is...
Did you know Forklift?
Did I know Forklift? Yeah, he was a great guy. Until he became a forklift. Enemy health container. Okay. And then basically all we need to do is go back to this and take the check health function and override that. Take the take damage function and override that. Those are the two. So we go back. Bit of copy and paste, you know, it's all good. Back. Well, not really. And I suppose technically.
He.
Okay. Invulnerable timer. Okay, we don't need that. Don't need this. Current health. Invulnerable time remaining equals invulnerable timer. No, that's not necessary. Take damage emit. Invulnerable timer. Duh. Okay, that's fine. That should work out. But then check health. So here we're going to do direction. Duh. There's a vector2 equals vector2.0. Oh, is this going to throw an error? Actually, is it just a warning? The parameter dir is never used in the function checkout. Is this intended prefix? It's going to allow me to do this. And then pass in dir. And then emit dir. Because I know that it has to match the... I guess you can just add that. I didn't know it. At first I thought perhaps this wouldn't be possible, but I guess it is. Okay, so let's take a look at the signals. On health container damage taken. On health container health 0. Now we are emitting a direction now. So we should be able to, in this death effect, pass in... Okay, so we also have to say that we've got a direction here. I'm not going to type this out so it's a little bit more clear about what it is. The vector 2 0. And then in the play death effect, we can pass in the direction. In the play death effect here, we can take the direction. Vector 2. And then when, and now finally, when we spawn the currency, we can pass that direction to the spawn currency function, and now we can actually do something with that. So the easiest thing to do would be to simply say here that the what we want, like a base speed. I guess what we can do, yeah, well, let's create a variable. Have it be also like a distance is like export var. We can sort of like min speed and max speed. It's probably a bit confusing if I just call it min speed. Min currency speed? We'll say that's equal to 1. And then we can have a max and have it equal to whatever, like 10 or something like that. I don't know, it's probably a bit much. Let's just make it 10 for the fun.
The person you're trying to contact is no longer available.
Damn. That's a bit disappointing, isn't it? Okay, so now we have a min speed and a max speed, so we can just create a variable here. I don't know why I put that there. You can say like speed is a float and it's equal to rand I range, rand F range this time, rand F range, and that is min currency speed, max currency speed. Okay, and then finally we can say c dot what is it called? There is a function within the rigid body. It's not linear velocity. We don't want that. We want to do a single hit. I forget the name of the function. Apply force? Apply central impulse. Okay. And what this does is it takes a vector 2, applies a directional impulse without affecting rotation. An impulse is time independent. Applying an impulse every frame would result in a frame dependent force. For this reason, should only be used when simulating one-time impacts. Boys, drop the money. Welcome to the stream. Yes, we are making coins. We're making our enemies like drop coins, basically. They're going to make it rain.
Rat.
Apply central. Okay, so apply impulse position. Applies a position impulse? Nah, we can just go apply central impulse. Okay, so go back to that. Tank. No, actually this is in the credit. No, it's not. It's in the spawn currency function, which is in the death effect. Apply central impulse, and then we can go direction. I'm assuming that's normalized. I actually haven't checked. Multiplied by the speed. This could either go really well or really badly. Let's have a look. So let's go find an enemy that we can kill with this. See what happens. I need to change the default resolution. I made it really small for testing purposes, and it's no longer required. Window. What do you think I'm working with here? I don't actually know. It's probably close to center of other screen, center of primary screen, center of the with the keyboard. Absolute. Yeah, absolute. Maximization, maximize resizable. Transport extended title, no focus. What should it be? 1280 by 720, I guess. It's fine. I think that's going to be too big for the area that you guys can see. Oh, it's not too bad actually. Okay, so let's continue. Oh, damage taken on hurt box, damage taken, current health. Hurt box, damage taken, .connect. Invalid, oh, type nil. Okay, so that is something that we forgot here because we changed the structure. It should just be for the tank enemy, this particular change. The hurt box. I don't think this will actually materialize for any other enemy now that I think about it, so we have to go find one of those. Also, I noticed someone pointed out in the chat the other day that that guy has way too much health, eh? Wait, what the heck? He's not dying. Okay, well, we'll address that later. That the character is very jittery, and we worked out that it was the exchange. Okay, they're not. Oh, he did die. But the money didn't do anything. So obviously the force needs to be way higher. Okay, let's try to add this to more things so it's easy to test. Also, his health is way too high. Oh, he's got 100 now. It really should be more like 50. I can't remember what it was. It should be way less than 100. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the other enemies that we can put this on. The crawler prototype, I don't know if it has a death effect. No. Let's start with the air enemy. Obscure, welcome. Obscure Zenus Cold Fear, am I reading? Obscure ends in E, and then you got Zenus Cold Fear. I'm going with that. Oh, I've got a lot of errors. What's this? Health error. Calling signal health 0 to callable 0. KS. Okay. Zed fun. Alright. We'll roll with that. I don't know what you mean by that. Okay. Health container. Okay, so I think I've broken a couple of things. K-Sense. K-Sense. Obscure Senus. Let's not worry about it too much. I'll just call you Obscure. Okay, so where is it? The tank enemy. No, not the tank. The ground enemy is broken. Because I guess they're not, what is this? Method expected. Oh, right. Yeah. So it's now the actual enemy script is expecting a direction with the health 0. And because this doesn't have it, it can't die anymore because the signals aren't connected. So we need to go find that script, which is called enemy. Got a lot of enemy things. Health container. We just grab that and we drop it on this. And everything is the same. I don't think it's going to break anything. Okay. We go find our air enemy. And put that there. Easy peasy, hit a save on that. Now I think those are the only enemies that have death effects. I don't even think the crawler type doesn't, but I want to add it so that we can add some more simple enemies. At export var death effect. Oh, look at this. This actually extends the enemy script. So potentially I just need to actually create some cleaner code and create a function here on the base script for enemy, rather than having it on the air enemy, which is also like a problem in itself because that's not the air enemy script. That is actually probably closer to an intelligent enemy script. If that makes sense, that is for enemies that can do stuff rather than just wandering around. But it was originally made with an air enemy in mind, and then obviously other enemies don't have that. What about the ground enemy? Does it specifically have a different script? No, it also has the air enemy script. Okay, so I'm gonna rename this and hopefully I won't break too much stuff. Okay, let's fix this up. Find in files, air enemy, find. Okay, so it's just a class name, so that's good. We're gonna call this AI enemy. Hopefully that's fine. And then let's rename the actual script itself. This used to really break, so let's hope and pray. All we're doing is dropping the R. Okay. I think it's all right. Now, where were we? We were realizing that the death effect probably needs to be a function that sits below and is accessible to all types of enemies. So we can do that here. We can cut this and paste it in the enemy script. Right? It'll probably get cranky. That's funny. Because we need to get the death effect and then paste this as an export variable here. I think that goes above signals. I have to check. Okay, so things should be fine. Play death effect. New death effect, top level true, global position, game state, current state, add, call deferred, spawn currency direction. Okay, so that all seems okay. Now, we just need to be calling that in the right locations. So if we go to the crawler prototype, it's actually just got a script called crawler prototype and it's extending enemy. So when it is 0, does it have a health container? It does. And it's also expecting... What does this do? Extend the script of the selected node. Let's go to scripts, damage, enemy health container, load, sweet as. And then the crawler can get the same death effect. And also on health container 0 is direction. Our own teach school read how X or KS begin this symbol, the middle of the word maybe read another. I don't understand what you're saying, obscure. Our teach in school read X how X or KS begins this symbol CL in the middle of the word maybe read another. This is not English, I think you're trying to say. Like the X, is it like a Chinese X? You know? Or something like that. Explain as best you can. Okay. I appreciate it. Still, I appreciate you trying to explain it to me. I'm sorry I don't understand. Can be invulnerable. Okay, so this needs a direction. vector tool. And then we all just need to play death effect. Yeah. Right. And now the crawlers can drop money. How much money? I don't know, because they don't have a death effect. Drop that scene in. Open scene. It's the same for all of them. Okay, now we can probably test a little bit easier because there's going to be more enemies with that. So I'm going to pick these up because it's pissing me off. Grab those. Save so it doesn't bother me anymore. Now, theoretically, okay, so there is a problem here that there's no direction being given to those, but at least they're spawning, so we're on the right track. Ouch. Is it because apply a central impulse? Okay, so either the numbers are too small or the function is like being called too early, if that makes sense. No, okay, that works. Okay, but they went a bit crazy. We can delete these ones off the floor. But it still worked. That's nice. I like that. Pretty easy effect. They just sort of like bounce around. I wanted to make them bouncy, but I don't know how. I just need to add some sound or something. I don't know. Oh, money falls off. Get it, go get it. Oh, it should disappear after a while, shouldn't it? It doesn't do that yet. It just stays there forever until you reload the scene. This guy annoys the shit out of me. Got him. Need a heal? Nothing like healing midair. Okay. I mean, I think it looks good. Job done, boys. Alright, let's do the gauntlet. See how that looks. Could you imagine just like little crawler enemies dropping currency? Okay, so occasionally it doesn't do anything, and I don't like that. These guys don't... There must be a problem with their code. Save. Okay, let's do the gauntlet. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Ooh. Okay. Easy. Okay, so the direction is also sometimes a bit funny. And then you can just go like pick up the money. Now we have dash. Sweet. Oh, so chill. So I wonder, ground enemy doesn't get the direction. Not ground enemy, crawler type. Enemy health container. Crawler prototype. I don't know, actually. Is it a problem here, or is it like just the direction? There might be some other error. Print there. Let's just print it out and see. It's just a really small number. Dude, that one dropped so many. Those guys, it went ages. So is it just like the crawlers? Wonder why that is. Like the number's really small for them. 0.7.1. Where is that information coming from? The direction. Take damage has a direction. Hurt box. It's from the hurt box. Hurt box damage taken dot connect on hurt box damage taken. On hurt box damage taken, we get an amount and a direction. So on area entered, area global position, direction to global position. On area entered. Right, so this is always going to be pretty small because it's taking the direction of the bullet that just got hit by, not from the enemy itself or the player. It's not the direction from the player, it's the direction from the bullet. So it's always going to be a pretty small number. And then we're just multiplying it by factors of like hundreds. I don't know, actually. We could give it like an upwards direction always. Like make it pop up a little bit. You know what I mean? Like have the Y always have some value, although there is, you know what it is? Oh, that's what it is. It's because the bullet is above the crawler. So yeah, we should just override this Y value. Actually, no. Interesting. Yeah. Because like, I kind of like it if you're below something, it should go up. But if you're above something, it's just going to go straight down, which is not as fun. You know what I mean? We could make it so it's only negative, which is up. But we do that in the actual death effect. So we can just override direction. So direction.y equals... I guess you would say like negative sign direction y. Sign is the one that converts it to a positive value. So we make it a positive value and then we invert it. I wonder if there's a way to do that without actually just going negative sign. Dunno. And I guess it needs to be sign F. Oh, I didn't want to do a new game. Oh well. Not bad. Not bad. Ended up picking one up anyway. He doesn't bounce back. I need to look at that. Okay, let's test out on these crawler boys. Ugh. Like that's perfect. You know what I mean? That's exactly what you want to see. but I get the feeling negative is up in, right? Like negative y is up. Call me crazy. We don't need to print that out. Okay. Where is it? It's crawler prototype is printing the direction. We don't need that anymore. I am still just a little bit skeptical. So if you do like just your regular, like if I create a character body and then I just add a default character body to it. Oh, that's not the right script. Extends character body and built-in script. That's what I want. Built-in template. My bad. Create. Yeah, jump velocity is negative 400 because negative is up. Okay. Delete that. All right, so our guys drop money now. That's cool. Well, that was easy. What's the time? 8:30. Dude, I feel like it's been a while since I've added in a feature and it went well. Pretty straightforward. Damn, okay. Sweet. Well, there was one other thing that I wanted to do. A sprite. We've got the worksheet. So I've got a slew of objects that I want to add to the game. Just as set dressing, things that you can destroy as you run along. I need to think about like what kind of things you're going to find in a research center. Like we're going for, the aesthetic is sort of 80s sci-fi, right? So we still want to have like the green screens and like the chunky computers. But obviously our guy is like a robot looking dude and can shoot lasers, obviously. So we're somewhere in that realm of, yeah, alternative history, I guess you would call it. So yeah, we got to add this stuff. I need to think of more things. They can be destroyed. We're going to add like destruction to them. I really like what I did with the desk. Not the desk, sorry. The drawer. Look, it opens. In just a couple of pixels. So when you shoot it, it'll open like that and some coins might fly out. That's pretty cool, right? But this is an entirely new object. So if I just select that, and then I also... This is the issue, isn't it? So what's that? Like 16 by 16? And then I export as a sprite sheet. Sprite. I need to say visible layers. Selected frame or all frames is fine. Borders trim is probably the way to go, right? So then I just end up with that. Trim cells. One's wider than the other. I don't like that. I think they're even if I do this. Okay. Inner padding? Can we just have like 1 pixel between them? Can you make it 0.5? Doesn't work. Okay, so it has to be 1. Just 1 is enough. I just don't like them being right next to each other. The space between each frame and the edge of the sprite sheet. The space between each frame and the sprite sheet, aka the shape padding. This extra space inside the frame edges. Okay, so maybe I need to make this one. Ah, much better. Okay. Easy. Output file. Choose. This is going in project, Metroidvania, assets, environment placeholders. What's in here? Broken wall, save point. Yeah, I suppose that works. And then in here, I can just create another folder, perhaps. And what would we call it? Interactable objects? No, they're not really interactable. It's much more like a... I don't know. Destructible objects? Go with that. And then we can just call this metal drawer. Or do we export everything as like a sprite sheet and we just use it like an atlas, excluding the player? We don't need that. Maybe that's a better idea. And then split layers, but yes, also trim. Like this. And then, yeah, I don't... Well, we'll see. We'll go with this. Okay. Yeah, let's do this. Resources, no, just wrong. Project, assets, environmental, destructible objects, destructible objects. Okay. Easy. And then we export. Now this is an entirely new object. Then we're not going to be deriving anything, so I guess it's a 2D scene. What is it going to be? Is it an animated static sprite? Static body. Is there like a animatable static body in 2D, or is it just I suppose it's not, right? Animatable body 2D. Because technically, like, a body that can't be moved by external forces when moved, it affects other bodies in its path. Actually, even a rigid body might make more sense, because a rigid body then, oh, it's arguable, right? Like, it really just depends on the appearance. Like, how do you want it to behave? Is it just going to be something that sits in the room and, like, in actual fact, the player isn't actually going to be able to... Well, maybe you can stand on them. But, like, you know, for the most part, like, the way these objects work in games is that, like, you can just, like, shoot them as you walk past. And, like, they don't actually get in your way. So, like, in theory, a static body would work because it's not meant to be moved, and you just make it so it's not on the same layer as the player. Realistically, then, it could just be an area because you're not planning on placing it anywhere. It's an interesting one, actually. And then the question really becomes, like, how do you delineate what you can and can't jump on as a player? Because these objects do look like something you can jump on. We might need to look into, like, giving the the player the ability to move through them, but if they're coming, like if they jump, they land on it. Something like that. But for the moment, it really could just be a sprite with an area. Like with damage. With a hurt box, essentially. Or they could even be enemies. Technically. Nah, then they do damage to the player when you touch them. You don't want that. Okay, so let's just stick with a static body for now. I think that's fine. I think. So, destructible object 1, office. It'd be also nice, like, if you could have, like, some kind of scatter object. Is there an add-on for that? Like, is there something that you can get for Godot? You can add all these static bodies and then just, like, click around the screen? That'd be cool. Office drawer. Steel. Right. And there's a sprite. And this is actually an atlas, right? Like, I've only just discovered atlas textures and I love them now that I know what they are. They make animating stuff really easy. So under asset, environmental placeholders, destructible objects, and we just drag that in, right? And then we can edit the region. And the step is 16 by 16, I think. That should like, ooh, it doesn't fit everything. Right? Okay, that doesn't work. What is it then? 14 by 14? I guess it just depends on what you're trying to choose. Like that's not 16 wide for sure, right? Oh yeah, that's perfect for that one. So now we just have to go and find and then do an offset. So I actually think this is a 16 by 16, right? And then the offset's what, like 8 pixels at the top? 7. Who'd have thought? And it's not 16 by 16. It is 14 by 14. Which means the offset's different. And there we go. We figured it out eventually. What's that? I don't know about this. Interesting. The pack texture might not be the best choice. Snagglefluster, welcome to the stream. How's it going? There we go. Got it. I got discriminated against, so I'm going to give my rules as a viewer. What? You got discriminated against by me? What for? Woke of the day over here. You're going to give your rules. Okay. 15 by 11. Yeah, I don't know about this. Why does it look like that? Oh, is this because of the way that I set up the atlas? Must be. I hope you understand that these rules exist because of examples that I've witnessed over the 8 years to you, not necessarily you. Okay? I'm excited. What is this? Let's go. I've never had anyone say this to me on stream. This is crazy. Oh, I stuffed up. Yeah, I don't know about this. The separation of 1 pixel, I think, is probably the issue. Stuffed it up. Good morning, Alex Eats Cesium. How are you? Welcome to the stream. That works for this, but it doesn't work for that. What the hell? Why are these not the same size? I guess because I chose trim. I think that's probably the issue, right? They're not exactly the same size. We're doing good. We added currency pickups to the game, and that went really well. And now we're adding like destructible objects that you can sort of shoot as you're running around, and they'll drop money and stuff. So export as sprite sheet. We're just fighting with the sprite sheet now. So the spacing of 1, I think, is a problem. And although I really want there to be a spacing of 1, so that we're not 100% next to each other. But the trim cells and trim sprite, but not cells. Yeah, I don't know about that. Look how far apart they become. And they're not even consistent. Like, this whole thing is an issue. In fact, I would say, like, let's go just have a look at this draw. See, this does fit in a 16 by 16, right? Like, that's the thing that's kind of annoying me. It's a little bit offset. Like, why is it like that? But then, like, obviously it pops out and the draw opens. So I think that's okay. But yeah, it fits within a 16 by 16. I don't know why that would be an issue. I guess we just do that. Do the visible one. Let's just do a single. I tried to do it as an atlas. It didn't work. You know what I mean? Separating 1, trim sprite. I don't know how big this is. 29 by 11. Gee, I don't know. Okay, well, let's try. Let's just try. Because that feels okay, but I still think there's like a weird offset here. What are you doing to me? That's better. Trim cells instead of trim sprite. Why is it different now? Okay, here we go. It's not my role to be abused or harassed as a viewer. It is not my role to be mocked or shamed or attacked for my sexuality, gender, or nationality, aka identity as a whole thereof. Do you understand this? What is... Bro, you don't need to say this to me. I've always been nice, right? I'm a human, and you and others are humans also. Everyone makes mistakes. It's not my job or responsibility to fill in those mistakes of others, and you should not be required to do so. It is a courtesy. Do you understand? This is crazy, bro. Do you go writing like, just my personal advice is like on the internet, you know, people are just like labels and stuff like that. So like you can sometimes find like a little bit of abrasion, but like, I don't know. Dude, if I didn't deal with this, it wouldn't be an example. Dude, that's crazy. Who hurt you? But you're welcome here, no matter what or who. Boys, girls, NBs. It's all good in the hood. I'm going to give this a go. You need to earn respect. If you didn't give random people the trust of your deepest friends, why should I? And also, I will never let myself be put down to boost others up. And stepping stone, I'm not belittled. I don't know what you don't need to tell me this, dude. We're chill, dude. But yeah. This is an office that has over 1,000 examples. What are you doing? Like, is this, can I ask you, like, is this something that you deal with on the internet? Jeez, like, you know, if you're like jumping around on Twitch and you're like writing in people's chat and stuff like that, do you encounter a lot of abrasion? Because I generally don't. Sometimes I am pretty abrasive myself, not so much on Twitch. I've been on Twitch for 8 years, numbers multiply up. I've been on Twitch for a long time too. I don't think this is my first account. I've been on Twitch since 2016, not necessarily streaming, but like I've been a Twitch watcher, a viewer, a chatter. That's the right word. But also, I don't know how old you are, because like I'm a little bit older, and my personal feeling and experience around the internet is like the internet's not real life. So like if you're just a name on a screen, it's not a big deal. Like I get into shit with people on Reddit specifically. I really shouldn't, but I do. And yeah, like I just don't care what people say to me. And so yeah, I'll scrap with people in the comments section of a post or whatever. I scrap with my friends all the time. Although these days, people seem to be getting a lot more sensitive. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. I have my own opinions and interests, and wants and needs. Then you are a different person with different histories, different personalities, and different perspectives. I cannot read minds, and I don't have a time machine. Who hurt you, bro? Maybe don't expect me to know things I can't. Also, the argument of authority and argument of incredulity don't make any sense. But freedom of expression, all right? Absolute cinema, all right? You were safe here. Weren't we just talking about like Bitcoin the other day? And AI and stuff? Chair, this is not a chair. This is an office. I'm not to be talked at like a child. I'm not to be objectified. That is not my role, and I don't consent. Now you're starting to remind me of like, what are those people? Sovereign citizens. Do not puppet or manipulate cornered. Don't ever assume upon me or slander me based off lies. I don't even know you, bro. Office. Dude, I lost my train of thought. This is an office drawer. Never ultimatum or demand you puppet me. If I want to be free, no, I will never be someone's slave, someone's pet servant at all. Do you understand? I am in no way. I'm not to be treated sexually without consent. No, wait. Okay, this is Twitch. And also, we're just making games over here, man. Ain't nothing like that. No NSFW here. No, these all have examples. If they didn't, they wouldn't be here. When have I sexually harassed you? When? No, I know. I'm joking.
Meow, don't forget to nut.
But others have been pedos and I've cut them off. Wow, that's crazy. I've never interacted with someone like that in real life. Or online, actually. I guess I don't roll in the mud that much. I don't know. Okay, this just isn't working. What if I offset by negative? Oh, here we go. No, that still doesn't work. Oh, if I turn the separation, we got one there. Yeah, but then this gets weird because it's pissing me off. Like between 14 and 43 people I have had to abandon for being pedo. Like in real life or online? I mean, this is a bit off topic, you know, but that's crazy, dude, if true. I mean, I don't doubt you, but like, maybe you need to like move. Okay. This is not working. This is, for some reason, just refuses to do 16 by 16, and I'm just dumb. I'm not like smart enough to know like what kind of weirdo separation to do for this. Or maybe this is like, okay, so what if I change this? Let's just try one more thing. We add a animated sprite. And then we add sprite frames, and then we come down here, and then we import, open. It's hard because I met people who themselves are attracted, and then the greater number is people who do that around kids and enable. Okay. I don't know, dude. That's kind of crazy. Definitely outside of my wheelhouse. Snuggle. Okay, so the assets and the environmental placeholders, destructible objects, office drawer. And then oh wait, that's, yeah, okay. Assets. Okay. Okay, so what the heck? Yes, it's cutting off the back part of one of them. Auto slice. That's super annoying. Okay. In the order of super annoying to annoying. 16 by 16. Copy. God damn it. Okay, what the heck? Why isn't it working? Why can't I copy? I am beyond pissed off right now. Hey Sprite, what are you doing to me? Why can't I see it? Is it just not? There it is. It's honestly annoying, dude. I'm guessing like it cracked the shits and it was trying to place it lower, like in the frame, and now all of a sudden it's fine. I've been on the internet
since 2011, man.
I've been on the internet since 2006. Actually, 2004 I think was
Shit's hard.
Like, I remember getting broadband in 2004, 2005, and I would go on like a game making forum and I'd post in the forum about like the struggles that I was having at school. And it was so cringe. I hope that place doesn't exist anymore. I don't remember. I was born in 2006. Yeah, I'm old, dude. Also, that means you were on the internet when you were really young. You were like 5 years old and you were on the internet. That's crazy. I remember being 5 years old and someone showing me the internet for the first time and on dial-up. Like, I think my dad got a trial. That's not going to come through.
Fuck you.
No, it did.
Cast dial-up.
Dial-up. Yeah, I have the memory of the first time my dad showed me the internet. So I was like 5 years old, and he like called me into the office, and he was like, check this out. And it was like Google, I guess. And he was like using it and doing... it was like, because I was really into like penguins, and he was like, you can just Google for pictures of penguins on the internet. And I was like, that's sick. And then, but like, it was the dial-up and I was 5, so it's not like you do that very often. I just went and played my PlayStation. It wasn't until much later that I got exposure to the internet when I was like 14. Yeah. I'm going to have to pass that down, give my child early access also. I think that's just a part of life now. Like, my nieces all play Roblox and stuff, and they're like 8 and 10 respectively. So it's like just a part of life, I guess. I don't know. It's normal. Here. This is how it should have been. I don't know why it was such an issue. No spacing. God damn. What the heck? That was loud. Cast floating point error. Oh no. My dad in the 1970s, me in 2010s, and shit. Then I will my children. Was your dad old when you were born? 2006, 1970, 36? I guess, no, that's how old I am now, so that's fine. I'm gonna say it's okay because that's my age. I guess this is just an sprite. This is like a regular sprite. Okay, we're back on track. H-frames, 1. And now I can switch between the two. God damn, that was way harder than it needed to be. Collision. Yeah, so this is the problem, right? Do we really even need a collision? Like, does this need to be an animated sprite? Just be a node. I don't think it really needs to be animated. It doesn't need to be a static body. Like, I don't intend to interact with it as a player. Like, the player is not going to jump over it or anything like that. Or I'll walk into it. I think that would actually make it less fun. But you can shoot at it. I'm going to have to, like, ads. Yeah. Nothing I can do about that. I guess I could run the longer one so that there's less ads between everything. I don't know. Also, if you're on YouTube, remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you're on Twitch, a follow is always appreciated. It's an ad for Twitch. Oh, it's like get your Twitch Turbo. Okay, so this just needs. Right.
I got a little nut.
Hey, thank you so much. I can't see because I minimized that. Breathless Gust. Thank you for hanging around. I am the school Facebook. I don't know what you mean by that. The word Twitch with a bright yellow background for 15 seconds. Oh, it's just like On the I am on the school Facebook. Okay, like you control the account. You hacked it. Hack a man. No. Deny, deny, deny. In a photo? I'm sure I'm in a photo on the school Facebook. Actually, I haven't been in school for a long time, so they probably, if there was a school Facebook and I was in a picture from school, then I'm probably buried in 2008 when I graduated in the special ed. No, you don't need to send me a link to that. That's crazy. Internet friends only. You'll dox yourself. Unless you guys know each other, I don't know. So we got the health container, and then we need a hurt box. Not that I'll talk to you. Okay. And health container gets the hurt box. The health is 10 because that's how much damage the player does. And yeah, I guess when we just connect the script and we do like the. So the name of the script, inherit static body. It's not a built-in script. It's not a template. And then we're gonna have a script here. Pickups, menu, enemies, damage, singletons. Do we need a new script? World? Could it be a part of the world? Is it destructible? Object? Okay, an inherent static body 2D. I'm not a huge fan of that, but we're gonna roll with it. Actually, you know what? Screw it. Node 2D. And then change this to Node 2D. Let's save this.
How about I milk a forklift?
That sounds so wrong. That's sus as hell. Scenes, world. Yeah, okay, so we'll create a folder here called destructible objects. Underscore objects. Now what we'll do, well, that was a bit of a spelling mistake. Office drawer, I actually created another folder and we're going to call this one, the first area is called the facility, but really it's like the office reception. Let's call it reception. And so we'll organize these folders by like area so that we can keep things mostly separate. So you're only going to find like the office drawer in the reception. And then in the research facility, we'll create different objects that look a different kind of way. Like there'll be like a beaker. I don't know. There might still be a drawer, but you know, whatever. Okay. So we don't need a collision shape anymore here. What we do need to do is emit the signal for when this has been damaged. Angel was scratching. Okay. Emit this signal that is damage taken, connect, and then health 0. And yeah, we are going to want to actually add the enemy health container. It's probably the easiest one to do. So we got damage. Is it under scenes? We're in scenes. We need to go to scripts. Damage. Enemy health container. Load. So that way, when we emit this signal of health 0, we get the direction. I guess these are technically enemies. Inspector. Collision.
Did you know, forklift is forklift because forklift?
Oh, dude. Forklift. Okay. Destructible object. So we want it to shake a little bit when we shoot it, so that you know you're doing something. I actually have a function for this. So if I go to broken wall, physics process. Oh, look at this. Okay, it's a little bit more complicated than I thought. POV, Chaff's ancestors betting on if he'll look up for Harry porn later tonight. I definitely won't do that. I've never watched that kind of stuff, eh? Listen, just because my profile picture is a fox doesn't make me a fairy, alright? It just so happens to be the first character I drew in pixel art. That's the law there. Get noise offset. Oh my god, this is actually way more complicated than I thought. Goose is the one. Does this derive anything? Static body? Extend static body. Last name block wall. Maybe I could have used this. Huh. Big booty goths. I mean, you're obviously a man of culture, I see. God damn, this function annoys me. On damage taken, decay remaining decay. Take these functions. ID gen, we don't need to worry about that. Let's just take all of this and then strip out what we don't need. Copying code again. What a fucking loser. Get our ID. Don't need to worry about that. Don't need to worry about that. I don't even need an ID. Get out of here. Check ID recovery. Don't need that. Okay. Go on. Sprite. Yes, we do want to know about the sprite. We do want to know about the decay. I think on the internet, the pecking order there goes people who can work at Steam on top, and at the very bottom is 4chan mods. Maybe. the hierarchy of different types of posters. I don't know. Okay, so we've got speed, decay, sprite, and in-player ID gen. Okay, we don't need ID gen. An in-player, we do want to have one because we're going to need to animate the sprite. Although it is just one frame, but if we're going to try to make a structure or how this should work, we should add an animation player. Reddit mods and Discord mods are fighting for second last, yeah. Reddit mods piss me off, for sure. Meow, 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 meow. Get out of my swamp. Meow. Wait, is Shrek suddenly a flippin' cat? It's only one frame, so it actually doesn't matter. Okay, so we can go anim player. Create a noise texture for our shaking. I don't care. Strength. Well, let's copy what we have for the block wall. Okay. That was a sound. 2. Decay 0.1, speed 500. 0.1. Speed 500, sprite is that. But I don't know what I'd do with that. Oh, I'm shaking the sprite. You know what's surprising? Brats are at the top of nice guys at the bottom. If you speak your mind and you were liked more than being... I don't think that's true, but like... If you speak your mind, you are liked more than being nice. There's a difference between being honest and being... Like, you can speak your mind without hurting people. If that makes sense. Occasionally that will still hurt people. And it's a difficult balance to have. You know, and sometimes you do lose your patience. Like I lose my patience with my friends, well, you know, with my family is like because we disagree on a lot of political things, and I resort to trolling, you know, which upsets a lot of people.
Rah.
Raw. Okay. So what are we shaking the sprite? Yeah, we're shaking the sprite. Easy. Noise offset, yada yada yada. So on damage taken, we can set the decay. Like I'm pretty sure that's how it works, right? Oh my god. We just say decay remaining equals decay. And then on 0, we actually want to play the... I was taught by the LMAO cringe tube era 2014, 2016. Yeah, I mean, I was definitely in some questionable places back in the day on the internet. You know, people change as they get older. That is a super annoying noise. So, okay, so we're queuing it free. We're not going to queue these free. We're going to actually leave them in the scene, but we are going to play destroyed. Oh man, if this was like I could just change the class name and use this instead. Except for the fact with the queue free, I don't want to queue free it. But like this is exactly what I want to do. An in-player dot play destroy, and then that actually that's it. And then I do want to spawn some money. Which is why we get the direction. Right, so then we need to spawn some money so we can go and have a look at the enemies. Spawn currency. Death effect, that's what we need. Or realistically, we just spawn currency. New effect, oh well the currency is in... That function is in a death effect. We can create a new death effect without like... Okay, so where is our death effect? So this one is like red. Right, we don't really want that. Go to the 2D. So basically what this looks like, it's a particle, right? Like that. So we can create a new one. Scene, save scene. Object. Destructible. Destruct. Destruct. I don't know how to spell it. Death effect. And then just make this unique. Actually, just get rid of that. That's fine, it's white. That'll do. Destructible. Easy peasy, guys.
PP.
Yep. Okay, so now we've got the office drawer, yada yada yada. We're gonna spawn the death effect, that's what we need here. A death effect. And then we can just go on destroyed effect dot instantiate. So take that back. New effect is equal to a death effect, and it's equal to destroyed effect dot instantiate. For some reason didn't want to complete that. Normal straight white guys at the bottom of the pecking order. Okay, that is just crazy. Normal at the bottom of the pecking. There is no social pecking order. It's fake. It's all in your head, bro. I've literally never been in a room as a normal straight white guy and felt like I was at the bottom of the pecking order. Just gonna have a bit of confidence in yourself. New effect. Actually, I gotta instantiate it, right? Disability Olympics? What the hell is Disability Olympics? Is that a thing people do? Current scene? Dot. Actually, this doesn't move, so it's probably fine to just add child, right? Add child, new effect. Who's had it worse? I mean, I don't know, bro. Life is varied and long. And people all sorts of people go through things. It's not a competition. Everybody suffers in a different way. You know? Spawn currency, right? And then it wants a direction. Can it stop giving me warnings? What the hell? Invulnerable time is never used in the function on health container damage taken. The parameter direction is never used in the function on health damage taken. Okay, that's fine. The damage instantiate is not present on the type death effect, but may be present on a subtype. What the heck? Destroyed effect. This is a pack scene. I'm an idiot. That's better, and then I can just put in underscore there and an underscore there, and we're happy days. Let's see if we can make this work. Let's see if this works, because it's held together by duct tape. The one thing, actually, before I do that, the one thing is that we probably, when we go to health 0, we don't actually want to, because like theoretically right now it's going to keep doing that because we're not deleting the object. So instead we should probably turn off the hurt box or something like that, or have even a variable to say that it's been destroyed. Although I do like the idea of just deleting the health container. Not the easiest way to go. Delete the health container and the hurt box. Although, I mean, that is a lot of work. We could also just turn off the hurt box monitoring and monitorable. That'll work. Health hurt box. Node. No, it's a hurt box, right? It's a type, right? Okay, cool. Grab access to that. And then we go hurtbox dot monitoring equals false. Hurtbox dot monitorable equals false. There was a meme, Down syndrome trans black wheelchair user. There was this meme. Yeah, but what's funny about that? You know what I mean? What's the joke? And the comment was like, pick a struggle. Oh, okay. I mean, that's a tough life. You know what I mean? NA Games, welcome to the chat. How are you doing? Okay. We got a hurt box. Okay, so that should be it. We turned off the hurt box. Let's add in the objects here into the scene. Test them out. Just woke up. Damn. We are doing pretty well. It's quite a warm night tonight, but we are persisting through the humidity. And we're adding money. Now, I guess the question after, now that we've added money, what do we do with it? We've got nothing to spend it on. Office drawer steel. This is destructible objects. What else am I forgetting? I don't know. I feel like it's not going to look that good right now, but... And also, I'm not directly setting the position of the coins, so they might spawn somewhere strange. Where the hell is the level? I've lost it. There it is. That's a bit strange. Alright, let's... okay, so these... Let's delete these, because they're annoying the heck out of me. Get rid of those. And... in the destructible objects... Where is this? I think the edge of the level is over here, right? So now we have an object like this. There's a little office drawer. Let's go. Let's add it in. Let's see what's broken. Where am I? Oh, I'm up the top. Oh, I've got to fight. Start again. Choose a different one. Choose this one. Okay, we're down here. Not detected. Oh, I don't think I set up the hurt box properly. Secrets. Broken wall. Hurt box. Collision. It needs to go on 4. Destructible object. Try that. It also might be too small for you to actually hit it with your laser. Hey, oh, that was actually sick. Hell yeah. Only it's not, it's infinitely reproducible, which is not exactly what you want. Look at all these errors I've got. Also, it's spawning the wrong death effect. How rich can we get? I got 200 coins. Hell yeah. Dude, this thing is just full of money. I mean, it behaves exactly how I want it to. That is not quite correct. It should be going the other way. I guess there's a problem there we have to address. The infinite money glitch. Okay, so first of all, this is the wrong destruction effect. let's have a look at these errors. Object not found, health container, animation not found, destroy. Okay. We'll have a look at that. What is it? Death effect? Destructible death effect? That's the one we want to spawn in. Okay. And then I'm guessing because of that error, the rest of this code never went, but it's destroyed past tense. Hurtbox monitoring and monitorable false. I don't know why that doesn't stop the hurtbox from detecting damage. How does the hurtbox work? On area entered? I mean, that should just like stop working. Better. But now it's still infinite. We're still getting errors? Okay, a function blocked during an in-out signal, use set deferred. Okay. Sorry, I yelled into the microphone there. In-out signal, use set deferred monitorable. Okay. So it should look like this. Set hurtbox dot set deferred. And then you pass in monitorable. Also, I need to like false. And then the other one should be monitoring. Monitoring. Okay. And now it should only trigger one time. Yeah, sweet as. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, but like I think the direction's a bit scuffed. So let's have a look at that. I just want to move it so that I can get on a better side of it rather than standing directly above it. And then we just sort of have to like make it look a bit nicer, I guess. Like the level itself, like there's issues because everything is kind of chibi, if that makes sense. Like the character's kind of small. Okay, no, that works. Like that feels like the right size for a drawer, right? I don't know. Also, is there like a scatter 2D? The answer is yes. Is this the same guy that made the scatter 3D? No. For Godot 4, which automates the positioning of assets in 2D. Scatter 2D holds the positioning rules that can be emitted by an inspector. No, okay, that's not the kind of scatter. I forget what it's called. That's alright. I don't really want to use add-ons anyway because they get messy. Okay, so now we can get money out of objects. We just need to add the objects to the game. So we've got that. Let's make a few more. What else have I made? We've got the drawer, the exact same drawer, but in wood. And it breaks entirely. This one is not as it's not as solid as the steel one, if that makes sense. It just like it busts and the handle falls off. So I'm gonna add that. That's pretty easy. And then the locker, which is a little bit more challenging because I want it to break into. Oh, we got a link in the chat. What is this?
How we
Ads. How Linux boots. I should probably watch this because I'll be honest with you, I have problems with my Linux build.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to a very cool video, or at least I hope it will be. We're going to look at how Linux boots. This is a very complex subject. A viewer asked me...
Oh, it's 56 minutes, bro. What? 56 minutes? Self-test. I do actually need to learn this because, like I said, I've been having problems with my Linux pretty much ever since I separated my home drive from my boot drive. So my boot drive is one thing, my home drive is another hard drive, and occasionally it just like doesn't detect my home drive, like randomly, if that makes sense. So, and I've never been able to fix it. The solution is to restart the computer because it drops you in this, and then you just like put your password in and whatever. I know, so watch. How would you know that? I've literally never brought it up until now. We do care that much. We do want 5 hours worth of video. Dude, I can't watch this for 5 hours, for a whole hour on stream. That's like, that's too much. But I will look at it later. Hey. Come back, music. There we go. Hey, Tenno Village. Music by Game Chops, by the way. Okay, so I guess this is the next easiest one. It's still 16 by 16, so I'm just gonna like create. I don't know why I've been having trouble with the A-Sprite and not quite being able to get it to. Oh man. Copy the right thing across. Oh my god. I don't know why I can't just do that in the sprite sheet that I wanted to. Office drawer wood. Okay, that's super easy. Now let's do the locker. The first one is the easiest one because it's what is it, like 32 by 16 still? Yeah. Let's change this canvas layer. It's more like 24, but I'm just gonna make it 32. Super easy. Or not. Control C. I'm pressing Control C. I've got the wrong layer selected. There. There, okay. I'm not as big a fan of the pixel art here. It probably would make more sense if I like open the door rather than just crunch it up like this. But we'll roll with it for now. Export. Should be good to go with that one. And then there's the narrow locker, which is a little bit more challenging. Because, what is it, 16? I think I'll keep it still 32 by 16 because even though it's only 8 pixels wide, because it breaks into 2 pieces, which I'm going to need. This one is actually going to be not possible with the way that we set things up, because instead of what I want it to happen is on the second frame, I want it to break into 2 pieces, which means I'm going to have to spawn in objects. This is different, so it's going to require a different setup.
GYG.
Oh my god, I stop clicking links because it's sending me to Google Chrome when I really should be opening up in Firefox when I'm signed in. Russia, Norway. Hunting Russian spies, Norway spy town. I guess it's shorter. Dude, Russian spies? What's wrong with Russia?
We're on the hunt for Russian spies with Norway's domestic intelligence agency, the PS.
Man, this is so like
Regional Chief Johan.
Wall Street Journal, yeah. A target for espionage operations. Yeah, I suppose nearby NATO, but like NATO sucks. I'm sorry if you like it.
Is operating in a town right on the border with Russia. Both its ties to Moscow and proximity to key NATO bases have made it a focal point for covert operations.
It's very rare to get this kind of access, particularly in such close proximity to Russia.
It's because it's propaganda.
For this community, everything with a link to Russia is treated with suspicion.
They call this spy town. They're following me. Everything what I do. When you get the kind of off feeling that somebody is doing this on purpose, this is not natural.
It's just weird. I swear we've seen this car on numerous occasions before. This makes you paranoid. That's the whole thing about this place. You kind of imagine that you see things sometimes. You can't help but think that there's something weird going on.
Kirkenes is located at the eastern tip of Norway.
Beyond this fence here,
It would be pretty scary. Oh, Russia's obviously been doing things.
is Russian territory.
The red and green post marks where Russian land begins. The black and yellow symbolizes Norway. Its proximity to Russia has made it a key target in operations to surveil NATO.
Last year, Russian citizen drove for 14 hours to take photos of some military infrastructure, and he was fined and banned from Norway for 5 years.
Elsewhere in the high north, Russians have embedded.
I like how that's like, yeah, we just gave him a fine and banned him from coming to the country. At least that's like, you know, not super violent.
themselves deep in Norwegian society. Mikhail Mikushin claimed to be a Brazilian researcher named José Assis Maria.
But while focusing on Arctic security at a university in Tromsø, he was actually a deep-cover Russian spy.
That's awesome.
This video shows the moment of his arrest in 2022.
It seems so kind of old school Soviet, and it takes a huge amount of resources to use an illegal in that way.
Mikushin was exchanged in a prison swap in 2024 and was greeted personally by Russian President Vladimir Putin upon his return.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, yeah, Russia exists. NATO expands. Russia gets mad. I don't know. The James Bond in me wants to be a spy, but I couldn't handle being tortured. You're also like a tool for the state, which is kind of uncool. Right? Like you're just carrying out whatever they tell you. And generally, like, it's not good. Committing violent acts against other people, you know? We make games about violence, we do not do violence. Okay, so how do we handle the narrow locker? Although I'll admit, when I was a kid, I thought that stuff was cool too. But like as an adult and like someone who, like, I don't really like the modern style of conflict and, you know, shit when it comes to like imperialism and governments. It's like, it's kind of hard to like think about it as cool anymore. It's more just sad. I don't know what, like creating a hyper specific selection here. Because like, if you think about if you're a spy, like in the last 20 years, like you're just hanging out in Afghanistan, torturing innocent people for like no reason other than the fact that the government's there for their oil or whatever the fuck. Like you're literally achieving nothing. You're just doing violence against people that don't deserve it. That goes down here. But we make games. Okay, that came through with nothing. What would you do if you found out your friend was a Russian spy and they just randomly pull out a gun and shoot someone? I would probably run away. Like, what the fuck? They got a gun. Number one, I'm Australian, so that would be really strange for a Russian spy to be in Australia. I'm sure they are. You know, countries do espionage, but yeah, like, what do you do? I'm unarmed and they have a gun? I'm fucking out of there, bro. That's a lose-lose situation. I just spent 20 minutes trying to work out why NPCs couldn't play an audio file because I was really forgetting to call .play. Oh man, I've been there. I've been there. That's a tough one. You're like debugging for ages and you're just like, why isn't this working? Forgetting to call the function. Classic. For straw. Locker. Small. Okay. I mean, there's a bunch of other stuff as well. Like, I got desks here. But, yeah, they are destructible, but I don't want them to give money. There's no reason for a desk to output anything. That'd be weird. What are my arrows? Oh, because I have a selection. And that one's pretty basic. Defying gravity over here. Whatever. Should be right. And the little computer. The computer is not destructible yet. I don't know if I want it to be. I want to be able to access the computer and like read emails from around the facility or whatever. Kind of like what you do in like a immersive sim, but this is 2D. Because I really like that aspect of immersive sims. I'm gonna have to get better at my level design for these things to work though. Because like right now the level is fine, but like obviously the aesthetics don't fit. Like this draw feels kind of random, you know? Scene, save scene as, office draw steel, office draw wood. And then literally you just change the this. And now it's exactly the same. Easy. Change the name up here. Okay, and we want the locker. Scene. Save scene ads. Office drawer. Woodle? This is actually going to be a locker. Can we just drag that in? Right. And I guess we need to make the hurt box bigger. I guess. Or super serious. Actually, it'd be kind of weird if you missed it because it was too small or whatever. Health effect. That's still 10. Or do we make it 2 shots to kill? It's a bit bigger. Okay, let's see. Let's drag some of this stuff in. See, problem. I needed to make the... close that. Back to the locker. Accidentally closed it. Locker? I forgot to make the flippity flip unique. See, it doesn't even give me the option. I can't make it unique. What the hell? But if I go to the drawer, office drawer? Wait, what the heck? Oh, it's fine now. That's weird. Wait, it's already unique? Always has been. Spaceman with the gun to the back of the head. Draw. Locker. Okay, let's see how these will react. Something that used to happen back in the day is that you would have problems with sharing the animation. Pretty cool. Locker is technically bigger than the character. Makes sense. I'm rich. And then you can just save and farm them. That's fine. It's not going to be destructible objects that close to you all the time, so for you to be able to just do something like this. $50. What do you do with that? We need something to buy. We need things to. So yeah, there's some setup required. Money, yeah, so we actually need to actually give the player something to spend money on and also a place to do that. So I need to create a terminal. I'm going to do it like, there's not going to be a person or a character. I'm going to do it like a machine that generates, you know, like Star Trek where it can like create anything. It's like a 3D printer, I guess. What size? Actually, we can just use the worksheet because the player is here. What would it be called? It's like a machine. Materializer? I don't know what you call it. A fabricator? Yeah, that's probably a good word for it. Fabricator. And then I feel like it's going to be a trapeze shape. have it be like a little bit more square on top, but not like totally square. Like this. And then there's a screen up top. So if I'm like blocking this out, let's use this. And this screen, well, my keyboard's freaking out. Not my keyboard, my mouse. So where is the monitor? Same color. And here, like, you've got like the selection. I think I'm using like a green like this. Should we do like a coffee? It's like a coffee cup in like pixel art, but it's like... It's probably too big, eh? Probably it's the pixel art ain't the best. We'll just take out some of these corners. I guess it doesn't really look like a coffee cup, does it? Kind of hard to do such tiny little pixel art. And then below, there'll be like the machine that spits out whatever it is that you're trying to make. And it's got like a... And we can add like a little animation. This is offset. This is not in the center. I guess it's just an upside down mug. It's the exact same. These corners are annoying me. We don't want no hard corners here. And yeah, it'll just like bzzzt, generate your thing. That's pretty cool. I quite like that. Now, what color should it be? I guess we want it to be kind of similar to the computers, I suppose, like this beige. Too colorful. Darker. Yeah. I suppose. And I think like here, you have like a metal plate or whatever, where it shows up. Maybe make it a little bit lighter so it's more visible. Maybe make this metal too, so it just like stands out. Pretty dang good. Really just lacks a bit of texture. Maybe we add like some buttons. On the computer, we've got like a little red button. Here, probably, oh no, but like you interact with, okay, so here's the thing, right? Like, we are still going for sci-fi, even if it is retro sci-fi. So, what is the standard for interacting with a machine like that? Would it be a touch screen or would there be a panel? You know what I mean? Like, would there be something here for you to input? Not a lot of space, but I suppose that looks more like an insert for like a coin. I don't think that's the right color. I think I use this. I suppose it doesn't matter. And then what about lighting? Should it be... There's no depth as well. Like, we probably add a little bit of depth to it. Because, like, everything else is like, it's a very... It's not... There's not a lot of depth, but there is depth. Right now it's flat. So, realistically, what are we using for the outline? Probably a less dark color. Let's just go one step back from that. I need to go and look at like some reference material. Like I should probably go watch, or not watch, but like go look through some stills of, what is it called? Total Recall, like movies like that from the 80s. And like take a few notes about like how some of the stuff looked. I'll get a better idea to how to make it. Should it be more like the same as that? Actually, I got a lot of tones here. I could make it like that. And then add some depth at the back. A lot to work with. A lot of brown. What's the... I need to remember the... I think this is just a standard palette, right? Like this is just AAP64. I think that's the one that you just use by default. I quite like it. Now, depth for me generally just means to add a layer at the back. Like I'll just do the same thing in a darker color. I'm not the most proficient. Like here, we're just gonna go back one. So then if we want to add another one, we can do that in another tone. So it's darker at the back. Okay. And even actually, take one off the top so it's a little bit taller. That. So yeah, now the question is, I suppose if I want to get technical as well, like there should be like a layer there. Now that is a fabricator. And now I just need to create like a way that you can buy things from it. And also like, if you say whatever you can buy, like something to increase your like health, like something to heal you. I don't know. Then like I have to make that possible. He doesn't have an inventory. So that's gonna be the next step, I guess. I don't want to go too crazy with the inventory stuff. Just something so that it's there and I can build it out as I make the game bigger. But that is gonna be me for the night. Where are we off to? Let's save this before I forget. Yeah, we're gonna have to make some inventory. Dun, 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 dun. I think there's a lot of Pokemon in this mix. Where are we going to redirect to? Who's streaming? RL Jones. RJL Jones is streaming on YouTube? I didn't know that. I can rate him on both platforms? Hell yeah. That's actually sick. I'm off to bed. I hope you're all doing well. I'll see you on the weekend, guys. I should change the screen to ending soon and deactivate the microphone. Good night, all.